Here I present a claim that many so-called leftists would unfortunately regard as inconceivable. Yet that this claim is inconceivable makes it no less truthful, and oh how truthful it is. Stalin and Lenin were not Marxists. Stalin and Lenin were a disgrace to Marxism. Stalin and Lenin were anti-Marxists who paraded under the banner of Marxism, and in doing so tarnished and stained a noble intellectual pursuit. Marxism is an intellectual system, a means of analysis, a tool of understanding. On its most fundamental level, Marxism is defined by merciless criticism and unlimited thought. Marxism tears the social order apart and questions it down to its very core. That is Marxism, and it is this fundamental feature of Marxism that has led it to resonate with people to such a profound degree. This fundamental feature of Marxism is the reason that it maintains a strong intellectual legacy to this day. Marxism is on its most fundamental level the merciless criticism of the social order. Marxism is on its most fundamental level defined by unlimited and unrestrained criticism of the social order. That is Marxism. It is this fundamental characteristic that makes Marxism so great. Marxism directs unrestrained and profoundly detailed criticism at the existing social order. Lenin and Stalin are widely considered to be major Marxist thinkers, and to some extent or another, they were Marxist thinkers. I do not refute that. Their actions, however, were profoundly anti-Marxist. Lenin and Stalin did not allow for ruthless criticism of the social order. Lenin and Stalin did not allow for the continuation of the Marxist tradition. Lenin and Stalin killed and imprisoned those who criticized them. Lenin and Stalin crushed political dissent. Lenin and Stalin sought to stomp out the ruthless criticism and unrestrained thought that defines Marxism. Lenin and Stalin did not tolerate criticism of the social order. Lenin and Stalin killed and imprisoned people for criticizing the social order. Lenin and Stalin sought to destroy the very conditions required for the emergence of their intellectual forebears. The brutal authoritarianism of Lenin and Stalin sought to eradicate the very conditions that facilitated the emergence of their intellectual Marxism. If a young Marx received a bullet to the head or was worked to death in a gulag, there would have been no Marxism. And these are the fates that Lenin and Stalin forced upon those who criticized the social order that they presided over. Lenin and Stalin were anti-Marxist because they sought to eliminate the very criticism of the social order that defines Marxism. You cannot have Marxism without having ruthless criticism of the social order, and Lenin and Stalin sought to stamp out criticism of the social order. Lenin and Stalin were anti-Marxists. Lenin and Stalin are regarded as extensions of Marxist thought, yet their actions rejected Marxism. At the heart of Marxism is the ruthless criticism of all that exists. The beating heart of Marxism is merciless and unlimited criticism of the social order. Stalin and Lenin killed and imprisoned countless people for criticizing the social order. Stalin and Lenin discouraged the core component of the Marxist tradition. You cannot have Marxism without criticism of the social order. Lenin and Stalin killed and imprisoned countless people for criticizing the social order. Lenin and Stalin sought to discourage the criticism of the social order. Lenin and Stalin were enemies of the Marxist tradition. That is the reality. That they made certain intellectual contributions to elements of the Marxist tradition is irrefutable. But this does not change the fact that many of their actions were totally contrary to the ruthless criticism of the social order that is the most important component of Marxism. Lenin and Stalin betrayed the ruthless criticism of the social order that is the most fundamental component of Marxism. And herein lies a fundamental problem. Those in power will have a hard time ruthlessly criticizing a social order that they preside over. And so the best Marxists are condemned to be powerless. Either powerless, or of a caliber that is very rarely seen.